What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm GemMint. Last weekend, Prime 1 Studio held their next level showcase part 3, showcasing statues that were teased and some new announcements. I'm gonna make this more like a highlight reel, not gonna cover everything that they did with that 2-hour stream, but we're gonna talk about some of my favorites. So before we do, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit that bell for notifications. We're actually giving away a statue, and I'll get into more details on that towards the end of the video, if that's something that you're into. So really quick, we'll start off with the Fist of the North Star Kenshiro. This is a diorama. I only got like to the second or third hardcover. I'm not familiar with the female character, but they did 2 Kenshiros already that I have, and they also did a couple of other characters, so they're continuing with the line. Kind of feels a little fast for a new Kenshiro piece, but it looks great, man. The detail looks great, the paint applications look solid, and it's a cool little dio. I really got to get back to those books though. Another anime piece, they have a new addition to their Dragon Ball Z line in quarter scale, just like Fist of the North Star. I always wanted to pick up their Goku and Vegeta, and now they have a Frieza piece coming out. Super cool to see them continue this line. I don't know if I'm going to go that route. It doesn't really feel like that's the direction my collection is going towards, but super cool. And of course, they have a gold variant available as well. But what I like about it is that they're actually announcing it at the same time this time. I think Prime 1 has always been kind of notorious for releasing different versions later on or after the fact. So they're listening to their customers, and we're going to see that trend throughout this showcase. Next up, we got a new license from them. We have the Terminator 2 license in 1/3 scale. So a lot of other statue companies have tackled this property before and have made great pieces. We have the 1/3 scale endoskeleton, which looks awesome. I could see myself displaying that next to my T2 Arcade 1-Up cabinet. And then they team up with Blitzway to do the T800 and the T1000. They go to Blitzway when they want to get that photorealism, medical grade silicone on these 1/3 scale pieces. They're tempting. I'm not a huge Terminator guy. I mean, I grew up with it like everyone else, but I do think that the switch outs for the Blitzway T800 and T1000 are awesome. You get Arnold with half the face gone with the light on the eye, and then you have the T1000 with the shotgun blast to the face. Iconic scenes and imagery from this classic movie. I think a lot of collectors are going to be fans of this one, but I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and go in on it. A real quick tease, they have a new Transformers piece for their Beast Wars line, kind of. This one relates to the new movie, Rise of the Beast. It's Optimus Primal, and it's both versions in one, which is kind of a cool concept because the problem with Transformer statues is you can't transform them. So cool to see him in his maximal form and in his robot form at the same time. I don't know how well this is going to do. I mean, I think they do really well with their Transformers lines in general, but I don't know, this movie didn't really do it for me. All right, so we've already seen this one a few times, but what they're doing in this video, and it seems to be based on feedback from fans, is really confirming the scale of these pieces. We now know that this Batman vs. Killer Croc is a 1/4 scale diorama, which was weird at first because they had like 1/3 scale Superman vs. Doomsday, and I think Batman vs. Joker, but they really went out of their way to highlight this piece again, to show the different switch out portraits, which gives you look from different artists, including that crocodile head, and all the detail and the wounds on Croc. It's a great looking piece. Being that they have the quarter scale license, we'll see more of that a little bit later in the video, but jumping back to 1/3 scale with Batman, we've seen this one teased during one of these showcases as well. This is the Hellbat statue. It looks super cool. I mean, you got a base of skull and flames. The armor looks great. You got these wings. The only thing is, it depends on what you collect. If you're going for an all-out every version of Batman in 1/3 scale, it's a no-brainer. If you have a smaller collection or you don't really collect 1/3 scale, it's kind of a niche piece, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't think I'm going to pick it up. I think I've learned my lesson with having multiple versions of Batman, and I'll talk about that a little bit more during this video. But what we did get a lot of was their Throne Legacy line, confirmed to be quarter scale for all of these pieces so far. We've seen the Poison Ivy before. We're seeing the actual statue. We're seeing the paint applications, all of the detail that they packed into this quarter scale dio. So Poison Ivy on Throne. I have mixed feelings about the Throne Legacy thing. I feel like Prime 1 is a little bit late to the party. Like, is that still a trend that people are collecting? But then I think about it, that was really bigger in the fan art community. I don't know that licensed companies really tackled this and gave the general public an opportunity to collect, you know, their favorite characters in a Throne situation. So Prime 1's giving you that opportunity with not only Poison Ivy, but they teased Bane last time, and they gave a quick tease of that as well here. But they also gave us the 3D render of the Joker on Throne. And man, they have big shoes to fill with that tweeter headpiece, man, that was offered in both 1/6 and quarter scale. I don't know, that's the Joker on Throne to beat for me. But here we have this one, and there's a lot of details, man. And that's what they're really doing with this Throne line, at least with the DC pieces. Packing as much as they can into this. Look at all the detail on the Joker's outfit, all on the base. You had the fish with the fish tank. I like the fingers through the hair. Looking forward to seeing more of that piece. Now the next one up, it seems to pair with their quarter scale tactical Throne Batman, and that one was based on artwork by Gabriel Dell'Otto. Now this Superman piece, they're showing us right away that it's based off of comic book art, but it's not saying who it's by. Is it Gabriel Dell'Otto? I kind of thought that it was. So it's Superman on Throne, Fortress of Solitude theme. So here's the artwork, as you can see. And then looking on the back, they did the same thing as with the Tactical Throne, which had like the Bat Cave and the Bat Car. This time you have the statue of his parents. You have a small Superman flying up. And then boom, on the throne, on the front. They show us different concept art for the portraits. Kind of weird seeing Superman on a throne. Like, I don't really get that vibe with Superman. I think their Superman Hush is the best Superman on the market, which they're ironically now doing in quarter scale as well. But pretty cool piece. Looks like it would pair well with that Batman on Throne. And then what I really like to see is the Throne Legacy spreading out to more than just their DC properties. So for example here, from the Berserk property, we have Slann on Throne. And I thought that was super cool, treating Slann just like they would treat a DC character, which I'm sure Berserk is huge over there in Japan, right? I mean, that's where Berserk's from, that's where Prime 1 is from. That's how I really found out about Berserk, was through those statues. So Slann on Throne, part of Throne Legacy, super cool. She looks great. They covered her up this time. And they didn't even stop with Berserk. Even Capcom's Resident Evil, they did the Lady D from The Village on Throne. So very cool to see the Throne Legacy encompassing multiple licenses. Next up, like I said, man, I feel like I learned my lesson on getting multiple versions of one character. I really want my display to have one version, the definitive version of each character. With that being said, we've got the completion of the Dark Knight's metal line. We have the Harley Quinn Who Laughs, which was teased before. It's cool. She's got her hyenas, and they look awesome. The detail is great. Now, if I recall, though, I don't think this character was from the comics. Was this a concept character, or did Harley Who Laughs show up somewhere during the Dark Knight's metal run? Because I don't think she did. I think that was one of the things here. So 1/3 scale like the rest of the line, and what we got teased on the last showcase was a unpainted prototype. Now we've got the reveal of the Murder Machine, the last of the Dark Knights, the version of Bruce Wayne who essentially becomes Cyborg. And it actually looks a lot better than I thought it would, man. The base has that kind of cybernetic, futuristic, blue hologram of these people which have light-up features on their hands, just like Batman does. And the left arm switch-outs are awesome. They almost gave him like the Brainiac tentacles from their Injustice piece. The paint looks cool. It's kind of given like Batman Beyond vibes, but this is essentially what I would need, the Devastator and this, to complete the Dark Knight's metal line. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and complete the line, because right now my collection is very DC heavy in 1/3 scale, and kind of like what I mentioned, it's multiple versions of Batman, and I really just would like the definitive version of Batman. So I'm thinking about selling the Dark Knight's metal line and just keeping Batman Who Laughs out of that as a Batman villain. And this way could balance out the collection a little bit more, spread the pieces out a little bit so they're not as crammed, and then try to build up that Marvel 1/3 scale collection. So kind of crazy. They complete the line, and I already want out. All right, keeping it moving. On to Berserk. So they clarified some things. They've revealed some new things. So we've seen this piece teased. I don't know if it was the last showcase or the one prior, but it is now confirmed to be 1/6 scale Guts and Griffith, based on Kentaro Miura's artwork. It's two pieces that go together to form the artwork. So it's a cool concept. It's something different from the quarter scale line that they've been doing, and they're going to continue to go in that direction. Now, they kind of play something before this reveal that kind of lets you know where they're at. They mentioned their partnership with Kentaro Miura as not only a close partner, but a close friend. So they are revealing two more pieces. These are quarter scale dioramas, and notice how they specify the scale based off of Kentaro Miura's artwork. The first one is a scene from the Eclipse, so it's this brutal scene of Guts and Casca, and you have all this stuff going on in the background there. It's almost like a perspective statue in a sense, that they make it so small to make it look like it's in the distance. It's something that I'm really curious to see how they pull off in person. And then the second one, Femto breaking out of the egg, the red bellet that's transformed Griffith into Femto, and I like how his wings are still kind of like in that circular position. Basically, we're getting the birth of Femto, and it's a crazy looking piece. Speaking of crazy pieces, if you guys are into exclusive variant comic books, you got to check out THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com. They have a monthly subscription box that gives you 5 comics each month, $100 worth of retail value for just $50. But in addition, you also get a variant that's exclusive to this box. And for July, we have an Essentia issue 18, an Alex Regal Akira homage, limited to just 600 copies. Head on over to THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com so you can check out their subscription box today. This is one that we were teased. It was called Batman Berserk. It wasn't really clear on what is this? Is this a Batman storyline that we've never heard of? But it's kind of what some assumed was a combination of Batman and Berserk for the first time ever, combining this manga with a comic book character and making a statue out of it. Now, this one doesn't specify the scale. We're assuming quarter scale, which is more like the main Berserk line. It's a crazy statue, man. It's Batman wearing the Berserker armor. The detail is insane. They both have capes, so that translates well. The weapons are crazy. So instead of the Dragon Slayer, he's got the Demon Slayer, and then he's got an arsenal of other huge weapons. It's really giving me like Spawn vibes too, the way this looks. You got this Berserk version of Bane on the base as well. It looks incredible. Now, am I going to collect it? Man, I think I've learned my lesson from having multiple versions of Batman. So for me, I think I'm going to pass on it, and I'm going to try to just focus on that one definitive piece for every character. Let me know what you thought about all the pieces from the Prime 1 Studio Showcase X Part 3. And I mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're actually doing a statue giveaway. It's this Wednesday, and it's over on Whatnot. What is Whatnot? It's a live streaming auction app. We go live on there every Wednesday to auction off comics, to even auction off statues, and they have a great giveaway system built in as well. We're going to give away the Crow Premium Format by Sideshow this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to not only follow me on Whatnot, but bookmark that show. If you haven't downloaded Whatnot, use the link in the description and in the pinned comment. It'll give you a $10 credit that you can use on the app. Thanks for watching, y'all. Stay minty fresh. Peace.